Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and this right here is an open case, so I can't go into much detail. But I'm going to try to go into as much detail as I possibly can without giving you guys all the details, if you know what I mean, okay? So about a week ago, I get a call from one of my friends, and he tells me, Tommy, our friend is going to jail. He's going to jail because basically he was transporting some stuff from one place to another place illegally. And it was chemicals. You know what I mean? So it's not legal. It's not good. He got caught. And it turns out it was a big organization to the point where even the governor was basically involved and he's also going to jail. It's a crazy thing, okay? And I don't want to go into too much detail, but you guys get the point. Google it. You'll find out about it, okay? But overall, my mind went to two places. First, how much jail time can he get for this? And I looked up online, and it was basically around 3 to 5 years. But then there was a parenthesis saying, hey, or up to a lifetime in prison. And that's very scary. So my mind went to the other option. And it's basically you tell, you snitch, you basically tattletale, whatever it takes, and you try to get out of jail. And my mind might think like that, but that's only because I would never involve myself in a situation like that. And taking that second step, guess what? It can be a lot worse than just basically doing time, because you do that and you come out and you might not ever have any more time, if you know what I mean. Now, here's the crazy part. Tommy, why are you making a video about this on your channel? Because what we come here to talk about is basically making money, making passive income, investing into stocks, investing into real estate, just doing things to acquire financial freedom. The answer is, guys, because when you're playing this game of money, you will get opportunities that come across your table that will not be legal. And I'm being very, very honest with you guys, okay? Because this means when these opportunities come across your table, they will look almost irresistible if you don't know what the odds and what the consequences actually are. And that's why I'm making this video, to warn you. And you might say, Tommy, I would never, ever do something like that. The answer is, if you read this book, you would be surprised the things that ordinary men that people think are just normal people would actually be able and capable of actually doing, okay? That's my point. You don't know what you're capable of, but it's important that when the time comes, you know the consequences. You don't go ahead and take those steps. So do me a favor, all right? Smash the like button on this video. I want as many people as possible to watch this video because I don't want anybody else to go to jail over just something as simple as money. And I'll go into more detail later in this video. On top of that, if you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to get notified because we do have legit ways of making money on this channel also. Now, the very first thing, guys, that I want to talk about here is, in life, if you risk the things that you have and you need to acquire things that you don't have and you don't need, is one of the stupidest things you could possibly do. And here's what I mean here, okay? Let's say you have a job that gives you a good amount of money. It's not a lot of money, but it's a good amount of money. Let's say you rent a decent apartment or you have a decent home, you have a wife, you have some kids or whatever, you might have a car. You have these things that you basically need, you actually have, you actually own them, and you put everything you basically have and own and need in jeopardy just to acquire a few more dollars. It is stupid. Because when the consequences do come about, you're basically playing a game where the odds are, hey, I might make some more money, but if things don't work out for me, I might just lose everything, including the things I need and I actually have in my possession right now. You never want to put yourself in a situation where you basically risk everything you have over something as trivial as money. And it might not sound like money is trivial. It might not feel like that when you're super broke like I was at one point. But once you understand how money actually works and how you can basically improve your skills, make a little bit more money, budget, stop worrying about all those wants, the answer is everything changes. Because one big thing is, guys, okay, I noticed something in my friend a while back. I noticed that basically on Snapchat, He was posting things about sneakers, about gold chains, about having speedboats. And I was like, yeah, he's just doing all the stupid stuff that I also did when I was basically getting my first money and also going into crazy amount of debt just to try to impress people. But it turns out it wasn't that. It was him actually making money and using that money to buy a lot of liabilities and also risking his entire freedom. That's what I want you guys to avoid. It's not worth it, and it's not worth risking everything you basically have. Now, here is the second thing. You can always make more money, but you can't get more time. You know, the frustration, guys, here with me and my friend is basically that the only reason I became his friend when I was about, like, I would say like 9 years old was because how much I admired him. He was the smartest kid in the class. The guy was handsome, good with the ladies. He was proficient in sports. And I was like, that's who I want to be like. That's the person I want to basically mirror. And in reality, till this day, I think he's about 3x as smart as I am, okay? And that is amazing. But you can always, it doesn't matter how smart you are, because the smarter you are, the more you start to basically say, hey, the probability of me getting caught is really low. So in reality, I can take this step, do this thing, and before you know, I can make this much money. And being smart and not having patience is very dangerous. Because if you're smart and you're not patient, you will take on certain opportunities that might risk everything you basically have. And you never want to go ahead and do that. Because overall, okay, if I tell you, you make this much money, and you want to get to making more money, you can always work on your skills. You can always get a side hustle. You can always do something to actually increase your level of earnings. And it might take a little while, of course, and it's annoying. I get it. I know it takes patience. But if now he gets convicted, let's say 10 years or 5 years or a lifetime, and he's my age, by the way, how do you get that back? How do you get back 5 years? How do you get back 10 years? And I'm not making this video to basically say, oh, my friend's an idiot, because he's not an idiot. If I were basically put in that same situation and I went through everything he went through, then maybe I would probably be in the same position. There are a lot of things that, shout out to God, that I basically didn't go through to make sure that I didn't end up in one of those situations also. But I had a vast amount of opportunities to get myself involved with things like that. And thank God I did not take advantage of any of that nonsense, okay? Now, the third thing is, guys, it is 10 times more easier in the long run to make money legally than it is to make money illegally. Now, when I first got to the US, not many people know this, okay? But my first introduction, I was offered to join a gang. The minute I got into school, yo, let's join this gang because, you know what I'm saying, you're brand new here, you need protection. I'm like, protection from what? You know what I mean? Protection from what? I'm in high school. I'm just trying to do some math, all right? But I was offered to join a gang. I was offered to get into cash app scams. I was offered to get into cash check-in scams. I was offered to get into, for example, you know, the stuff of the world, if you know what I mean. I was offered to get a fake ID and go to places and take out, for example, things that do not belong to me. I was offered all these things, and I always said no. I always said no. I always said no because I understood that the way these people, which, by the way, are normal, regular people, the way these people live their lives is almost like in a paranoid state all the time. They're always doing this. They're always doing that. They're always checking their phones. Oh, you can't read that. You can't do this. You can't. I never want to live a life where I'm on the edge of falling off. You know what I mean? So that's not what I want to do. My point is, it's a lot easier to go to college, to get a degree, to, for example, get a skill, to do Uber Eats, to just take the long road. And once you start making a good amount of money, it's easier because now you're not worried about tax evasion. You're not worried about, hey, you know something? The worst that can happen to me if I don't perform correctly at my job is I get fired, I get laid off, I get unemployment. What's the worst that can happen to you when you basically do something that's basically illegal? The answer is you go to jail. Okay, or you might lose your life. That's the main idea, if you know what I mean. So that's something I don't want to get involved in. And lastly, well, not lastly, number 4 here is money like this has the habit of kind of leaving as fast as you get it. Now, let me explain here. I know someone, allegedly, that's all I'll say, okay, that he was in a business where what they did was very simple and simplistic when he broke it down to me. He told me, Tommy, what we do here is simple, all right? And he had this very majestic way of justifying scamming the heck out of a bunch of innocent people. And the idea was he would go to the dark web, he would buy a bunch of identities, okay? And he would get his other friend to make him all these fake IDs with the names and addresses of these people. Once he had those IDs, he would go, for example, into phone stores like T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, show the ID, give the social, give all the information, the credit, all that stuff, and take out, for example, a bunch of iPhones and accessories. Once he acquired those accessories, he would sell it on the third market for $700, a very big discount, and he would sell it, for example, to stores. So stores knew what he was doing. He would sell it to the stores, and the stores would grab those phones, ship it out to their country, and sell it over there because it can be used there without any problems of actually having the phones be blocked. And he would make, for example, on one trip, make thousands and thousands of dollars. And 2 weeks later, he would have to do it again because the money, as fast as he got it, it would basically leave his hands. And by the way, you know what the price of this is? It's like 25 years in prison. Now, he never got caught, and this is allegedly, so I might be making it up, okay, because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, it's not worth it. And the way he justified it was basically, Tommy, it's identity theft. Like, those people, they're going to say, I didn't do it. They'll get their money back. Everything to be fine. But in reality, you're still scamming people. You're still hurting people. You're still taking advantage of a company. And there is no justification for that whatsoever. The point is, it is not worth it. This money does not last. It leaves like water because there's no hard work involved in it. There's no actual pride in it whatsoever. It's just not worth this juice. This orange is not worth the squeeze. And the last thing I gotta tell you guys is this. I spoke to my mom about this morning, and I think this story is actually super powerful. And it's the example of, for example, Russian roulette. For those that don't know what Russian roulette is, let's say you have like a revolver. You know what a revolver is? Like, you know, the pew, pew, pew. Can't say that word on YouTube, but it's a pew, pew, right? And you have this revolver, and it has, for example, 6 chambers to put in, for example, you know, the beep, beep, beep stuff, right? And you have these 6 chambers. And the idea is you just load one chamber. That's all you have to do. Load one chamber and you spin it. You spin it, you spin it. And then you put it right here and you say, just pull it, right? The odds are in your favor. 1 in 6 odds that nothing's going to happen to you. And if nothing happens to you, I'm going to give you $1 million. Would you go ahead and play that game with me? Most people that are sane, like me and you, would say, no, I'm not playing that game because the odds are just too insane. The odds are me not making it. The odds are me losing my freedom. The odds are me losing everything that I basically have. The same thing happens with these games. These games of, you know what I mean? These games right here, when the odds are not like, well, they are that, but they're also losing your freedom, losing everything. Being, for example, completely just like, and when you go to jail and you come out, no matter what type of transformation you basically had, and people do change, a lot of people do, I can attest to that. The answer is, it's so much harder when you come out. Because 1, you've been gone for a very long time. 2, you have this on your record. You're blemished. People judge you automatically, even if you are a good person now. But all these things make life 10 times more harder for you. So overall, guys, my message to you guys is, as attractive as an opportunity might seem, if it puts you at risk of losing the things that really matter in life, it's just not worth it. If you offer me anything that might put at risk even a minute of my time, I'm not into it at all. All right? Now, I hope this video helps you guys. I hope you learned something here. And by the way, to my friend, I honestly wish him the best. And messages like these, guys, it strikes people at the core. And when you're friends with someone, you care about them, you look up to them, you don't make things sound giggly and nice. No, I'm pretty upset. I'm pretty mad about the whole thing. It shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't have done it. Okay? and didn't have to do it either. That's what sucks so much too. Guys, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified, and comment down below your thoughts. Let me know what you thought about this whole situation, okay? Again, it's just not worth it. All right? Long-term team officially out.